turn mine on for a minute. There I am. My horse is in the background. And I just wanted to say good evening, and I'm so glad that y'all are here. It's exciting to see so many of you joining us this evening. I see a lot of familiar names, and I see several new names, which is always exciting too. Um, yeah, so that's really cool. I have a very informal agenda for this evening because mostly I just wanted to chat with you all. Let me back up 1 second because there are some new names here of people that I may not have met. I'm Samantha Royster, and I'm the CERT program manager for the state of North Carolina. So I work for North Carolina Emergency Management, which is part of the Department of Public Safety. And I'm here, really, I work for all of you. So if you have questions about CERT, if you want some training of, pretty much any kind, not that I can't teach everything, but I know a lot of really smart people. So if it's not something that I can teach myself, there's a good chance that I know somebody that, if you just wanted to get your CERT team trained in, oh, I don't know, what do you wanted them all to get? A ham radio license. So you wanted some training to pass the exam for ham. I can hook you up with that. So if you have any questions, issues, anything that pops up at the local level where you have questions about CERT, I'm your contact for that. So just holler at me anytime. Yep. So as I said, I have a very informal agenda. I only have 5 slides to show on a very short PowerPoint because I want to do more listening than talking tonight is my goal. So I'm going to share my screen. Hang on, share this screen. Alrighty. So hopefully you all are seeing the CERT forum now with the CERT logo on there. Somebody nod your head if I can see. Okay, great. Randy can see it, so I'm going to trust everybody can see it. Great. All right. So just a few quick things. I do want to mention the National CERT Association. If you're not aware, this is fairly new. It was founded in 2019. And what I think is the most exciting thing about the National CERT Association is their resource library. So people from all over the country can send in PowerPoints, tabletop exercises, videos, any kind of training that they may have done. And we don't just share everything. So we have a team of folks on the training committee, and they vet every single thing that comes in because it has to adhere to the CERT standards and all of that good stuff. So, sorry, I was trying to read chat at the same time I'm talking, and that's never a good plan. Yeah, I think that that's the coolest thing about the National CERT Association. So if you all are interested in joining that, the website is right there. It's nationalcert.org. And you can join that if you want to. Okay, there we go. Now I can see that. Yeah, nationalcert.org. And they are having a national conference as they have every year since 2016, even though they weren't actually incorporated until 2019. And this year it's in Galveston, Texas, the latter part of August, because Galveston at the peak of hurricane season is where a bunch of disaster preparedness people want to be. So I'll be there, and I know a few other people from North Carolina are going, but we'd certainly love to see you there. We do have, I say we, I keep saying we, and that's because I am actually on the board. I'm a charter member and a board member for the National CERT Association. I'm also the membership chair. We do have a few conference discounts available, so to help out with the cost a little bit on the registration. So if you're interested in going to the conference and want any more information, let me know and I'll be glad to share that information with you. So that's the National CERT Association, what I wanted to say there. All right, next I want to talk to you about something that a lot of us love to hate, and that's terms. If you've taken any CERT class, you have probably at some point registered in terms. Hopefully you all have an account there and you keep, well, we keep, NCEM keeps track of your trainings, your certificates. You can go on there anytime and print off your transcript of all the trainings that you've done through not only North Carolina Emergency Management, but also if you add your FEMA student ID to your profile, then any of the online classes you do with FEMA will also show up on your transcript. So you can have all of that training in one handy place. What I'm really wanting to talk to you about tonight is that we have a relatively new section of terms that's called response teams. I maybe I should actually pull up live terms and I can show it to you. This is just a screenshot here. But I believe I have put all North Carolina CERT programs in there. I will definitely double check it. Or if you go into register and your team's not there, let me know and I will add it. The idea behind this is, let's say you're with Albemarle CERT. Is there anybody here from Albemarle? Lois? Anybody? No? Well, anyway, because I know who the team leads are for all of those teams, including your sponsoring agents and your liaison to those groups, I can put them all in that team. And this is a way that you can organize for call outs. We've been using this for search and rescue for several years, for wilderness search and rescue, and it works quite well. So you can do call outs through there, or if I need CERT people at the state level, I can also do the call out through Teams. So terms teams. Did you have something to say, Stan? No, okay. And it's like everything else in terms, it's not the easiest, most friendliest software to use. However, it is free to you all to use because the state pays for terms. And I would be really happy to see folks using this. So you can set it up. Let's say that your sponsoring agent says, we have, a tornado has just come through and we need some people to help out with damage assessments. You can send out the call through terms and people will get an email and or a text message. I think they can choose how they want to be notified. Most people choose both, just in case you're not at your computer or you don't know that you're getting an email. You also might want a text message so that you know, and then you acknowledge that you have received the message. And you can give information on there like where to meet and when to meet, and it can be really helpful. So I would really like to promote the use of that, and I'm very happy to help anybody get set up with using that. If you have any questions, I would be very happy to do like a one-on-one WebEx with you where I can walk you through it and show you how it all works. And I think you'll find that it can be a great asset for your team. Any questions on that at all? Right? You don't have to use it for that. We do use terms for tracking all of your training. You don't have to use the response team part, but I will be using it at the state level. So if I need to, call folks out on a large scale, that's how I will be reaching out to those who have decided they want to be statewide responders. All right, no questions, and I'll go on to my next topic, which is the standard operating guidelines for CERT in North Carolina. We never had anything printed really this formal until last year is when this came out. So I know it says 2022 on my slide, but if you notice the screenshot of the cover, it does say 21 on there. This is last year's version. My goal is to update it annually so that, things change or some new issue comes up that you weren't thinking of when you wrote the first one. I really want to keep it up to date. I hope all of you should have this because I did email it out to everyone. If you don't have it, let me put a link in the chat so you can download it for yourself. Hang on one second. Again, talking and typing, not that talented. ReadyNC.org. So if you go to readync.gov and then click on Get Involved and then click on CERT, down at the bottom of the page where it says NC CERT SOG Final, and I'm going to put this direct link to it in the chat. There it is. It's one of those weird URLs that doesn't really tell you what it is, but that is the SOG. I would love to get some feedback from you all of things that you like about it and things that you think are maybe could use some updating or some changing. Because July 1st is going to be here like in 5 minutes. So I really need to get this updated for the next year. And I think it would be great to have input from you all out in the field and, living CERT on a daily basis of things that work for you in this and things that maybe don't work. Two of the biggest pieces of this, and I'm going to be pushing this a little bit harder in 22, there are 2 pages in there. I believe it's page 12 and page 13. Page 12 is a code of conduct form that when I first sent this out, it was a strong request, and I believe it will be moving toward a requirement if you want to stay involved with CERT, is that I really want all CERT volunteers to sign the code of conduct. This is not an unusual ask. Lots of different places do this. Lots of other CERT programs do this as well. And it basically just says that you promise to act like professional individual and not make the entire CERT program look bad because you do something foolish, right? That's the basic idea of the code of conduct. I will be very upfront with you and tell you that that was the one piece that I got the most negative feedback on last year, because part of that, I think it's number 9 on the code of conduct. I see you, Tina. Hang on 1 second. I'll get right to you. It says that CERT members are not supposed to carry a weapon while they are training or deployed as a CERT volunteer. And I got an awful lot of pushback on that, and I'm happy to talk to anybody about that. I mean, I'm happy to talk about it here if this is the place that people want to talk about it, but that piece is not going to change. I still am going to keep that in there. Tina, what is your question?
I can't remember if I remember the form. I just can't remember if I sent it back to you or to New Hanover County.
So yeah, it should go to your local first, because I want the local person to sign off on it, and then they should send it to me. Yeah, I don't looking. No, I have not gotten yours back.
Okay.
Yeah, and it may be that Teresa has a handful of them and she's going to send them all to me at one time. So I'll check with her. Teresa, are you on by any chance? No. Okay. I'll check with her and with program managers across the state to see. I know that there are several places that they were kind of waiting until they had as close to 100% of their members as they thought they might get before they send them on to me. Anybody? Oh, yes, Rusty.
Our problem was with Kelly being out for surgery and everything.
Yep.
And now with me taking over for Kelly in the next month or two, how do you want to do that? Because I don't have a link to some of that stuff that was sent out to Kelly.
Well, I just put the link for the SOG in the chat, so you have that now. And if you can just share that with your members, then, ask them to fill out that page 12 and give it back to you. And then you, as the program manager, would sign off at the local level, and then you can send those all back to me. And, if you have a way to scan them and email them to me, that's going to be the easiest way. I'd hate for anybody to spend money on postage when, these can be scanned and emailed and whatnot.
Sounds good. I'll take care of it.
Okay, great. Thanks. Is anybody else? I'm sorry, somebody speaking? Okay. Is anybody familiar enough with the SOG at this point to give me any kind of feedback if you have looked it over at all or not? That's okay. So if you would, because obviously you are the very committed people because you're on for this meeting, and that's fantastic. If you could take, I'm going to say 15 minutes, because it's about a 15-page document, in the next week or so, because I do need to get this turned around pretty quick. Let's say maybe by next Friday, so a week from tomorrow. And if you would just, look through it and just send me a quick email and let me know any thoughts you have on it, good, bad, or ugly. I mean, be nice, but tell me what you don't like. That's okay. I can take it. I would really like to hear some direct feedback from you all on what you think. So you didn't know you were going to get homework tonight, did you?
Samantha, this is Tony. I've read the whole thing several times, and it covers everything. So
oh, good.
I'm for it. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Tony. I appreciate that feedback. That's very helpful. I love it. That makes me feel good. All right. So the rest of y'all, give it a quick read and just shoot me a quick email and let me know your thoughts. And you can be very specific, like on page 4, second paragraph. I don't remember what's on page 4, second paragraph, but look it over, let me know. And gosh knows if there are still any typos or misspellings or anything, let me know that too. It was proofread by so many people. I hope there aren't, but you just never know. All right, so anyway, look for the new one to come out very soon after July 1st. That's the goal. All right, next on my list to talk about. Many states do have a statewide CERT association, and it's getting to be like the in thing is for there to be a state association. And I have this on here, and it's intentionally, can you still see the screen? I wanted to hear ideas from you guys about what if you think we should have a state association. So this would be an independent organization. It probably should incorporate as a 501c3, which means it would have to have a board of directors, which I would be happy to sit on as like an advisory person, but given my job, I don't think I should be like a voting member. I think I should be there to as like the subject matter expert and make sure you guys are following state laws as far as emergency management goes and that sort of thing. But it would, it would involve getting people more involved. And I see Andy is on here. Andy Fauché with Chatham CERT, he is on our CERT Council, which hasn't done a whole lot over the last couple of years. Now, granted, we did kind of start that right at the beginning of COVID, and so it's been a little wonky, but that was sort of like a precursor to seeing about, doing a state association. Andy says he doesn't have a mic this evening, so what would be its purpose and mission over the existing ones? Stan is asking. So that would be decided by the people who create the organization. They come up with a mission statement and the purpose and so forth. I can show you, just to give you an idea, for the National CERT Association, they have, go away. Okay. Events about us. Yeah, so they have their mission and vision right on their website. Are you still seeing my PowerPoint, or can you see the website? You're probably seeing the PowerPoint. Let me see if I can share this.
We can see the website.
Oh, you can. Okay, great. So you can see this is at the national level, and this took, a committee and lots of people talking about it for a long time to come up with it. But this is at the national level, their mission and vision. And so it might be a little bit different at the state level. Yeah, but that kind of gives you an idea about that.
Can't we just modify it?
I'm sorry?
I said, can't we just modify it a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, you can, or you can come up with something totally unique, as long as, everybody buys into it and they like it. And I guess my main point is this something that you all would like to do? Are there enough people who are interested to be in a leadership role? And is this something that we should pursue at the state level?
Samantha.
Yeah.
So when I asked for what were the purpose and mission, yeah, the actual statements would be made afterwards. But before you decide to have an organization, there has to be a reason to have it. What is the benefit? What is it going to do for the overall whatever?
Right.
Having a state, there's a national one. They have a library and things that we can use, et cetera. We have local ones.
Yep.
So if we put one in the middle, it's got to have some need. What is the need that it or what are the benefits that it will provide for having one? And until we know the benefits, we can't.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And, something that needs to be addressed. And just because there are a lot of, like here for Illinois, they say that they're a statewide resource for sharing ideas and training, as well as a coordinated mutual aid system. So that's great if you wanted to do, something with MOAs. I have done a statewide CERT conference pre-COVID. I haven't tried to do it since COVID. That I would kind of move around the state, and so it's always been free. Other big states like Florida has a very active CERT association. They have a huge conference every year, and so members get, a cheaper registration fee to go to that. And I agree that I'm not sure if we need this in North Carolina, and this is why I'm also bringing it to you guys to see what you think. And I see Andy says, suggest working with the National CERT Association to find others who have set up a state CERT and get their feedback. And then that could be the first task, for maybe we have, I don't know, a group, a team that wants to delve into this a little deeper. Yeah. Thoughts?
Samantha, this is Tony.
Yeah.
I think as long as you plan on staying around and remaining active, and we don't regress like what happened at one time before you came, I think that we're moving forward, and I think a state association would be very beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we're moving forward and we do not become stagnant. But I'm all for it.
Okay. Thank you.
I agree with Tony.
And Tina just said ad hoc committee is the term I was looking for. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that, Tina. That's what we need. We need an ad hoc committee to, do some further investigation. And I have contacts in Illinois and in Florida. So if you wanted to talk to people who have started state associations and get feedback directly from them, I can certainly put that together. We can, do a WebEx meeting with those folks, and we can definitely, make that happen to get some more input. And Fred, thank you for your suggestion on the SOG. I appreciate that.
Samantha, this is Ann, and I'm in agreement, total agreement with the others that I think that you're doing a fantastic job. And if we can all work together to do anything that we can do to improve it, I'm in favor of.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you very much. I just feel like as CERT is growing in North Carolina, which it is. Oh, I know somebody asked how many volunteers there are. That question went by in the chat. I have about 2,000 people on my mailing list. Are they all active and going to a CERT meeting every month? I sincerely doubt that, but that's how many people I send email to regularly. So at least they're, at least somewhat involved. They haven't told me to stop emailing them. Well, sometimes people do, and I cry a little, but move on. What I was starting to say was, as CERT is growing in North Carolina, and I actually sort of reached this a couple of years ago, and thank you all for saying that I'm doing a great job, and I'm not planning to go anywhere, but I can't do everything, and I can't be everywhere. And so if we did have others who were able and willing to help out with things like organizing the trainers better, and I do ask for help when I get a request for a basic training class. I'll reach out to my people who have been through Train the Trainer, and I can at least pay their hotel and meals if they have to travel. But being able to organize that through an association would be great, and just say I know who the people are who are willing to go, and things like that, and help out with things like I'm going to Goldsboro in June 24th to Cherry Hospital there. They're having a safety day fair, and I've put the call out a couple of times to CERT members in the Eastern Branch, and I haven't gotten anybody who's willing to help and sit there and talk to people. So anyway, things like that would be great to reach out, and still sharing the training and stuff like they have at the national level. Somebody about to say something? I feel like I cut somebody off. No. Okay. Great. So I see Zach and Tony would be willing to help with the ad hoc committee. I love it. Is there anybody else who feels called to help out with the committee? Maybe we could rope Andy in. Hint, hint. Also,
I can do that.
Randy, was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, great.
If you need some help, let me know.
Okay, cool. I don't think Andrew, what is his name? I know him so well. Ferguson is on this call tonight, but he has already done quite a lot of work toward putting together some bylaws, possible bylaws, for an organization, and he has a lot of experience. He and his wife both have experience with starting nonprofits, so I'm going to put him on the list. What happens when you don't show up to a meeting, right? You get put on a committee. Oh, thanks, Tara. I see your private message and I appreciate that. I will touch base with you and we can share schedules and see what works. I got you, Andy. That's fine. No problemo. Great. Well, I've already gotten 4 people here, plus if I add Andrew Ferguson, that's 5, and I think that's a good number. I think most of you are Central and Western. Is there anybody more Eastern who would like to have a voice in this? Okay, we'll get somebody from the East involved at some point. As you all know, North Carolina Emergency Management breaks up the state into the 3 branches, Western, Central, and Eastern. And when we started the North Carolina CERT Council, we had 2 members from each branch. So that, the state is different when you go to different areas. And so I wanted each part of the state to be represented. And I think it would be great if we start a board that we have, we'll need to have a president. I think the minimum you have to have is president, secretary, and treasurer for a nonprofit. But I would also recommend seeing at least 1 representative from each of the branches. And I mean, you could be the president and the central branch representative. You can wear 2 hats, but I like to see it spread around across the state. So, yeah, go ahead.
I will say that I would love to have my role as commissioner. I don't know how much time I would have, but I'll certainly help in any way I can.
Well, I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Do you have anybody, on your CERT team that you think might be interested?
Well, I think Connie's here, and maybe we can talk about that sometime, and then we'll get back with you.
That would be great. I'd like to have some representation from the East. That'd be fantastic. And Tina, I see your message, and I completely get that, so I understand. Well, I thought, you all would tell me pros and cons, but it sounds like you all at least want to move ahead with investigating further. So I know one of the cons in my mind is that other organizations do charge a membership fee, which isn't great. I always hate asking volunteers to spend money, although it can become something like, if we could do great things with that, if everybody had to pay $20 to join, hopefully $20 isn't a huge burden for anybody to join, but then we may be able to do things like offer a scholarship to pay for somebody to go to the national conference, or help out a local team that, they're trying to get some supplies or something. If we could do something great with that, I would love it. And if we can get 300 people who want a license plate, if you have to have a nonprofit in order to have a special license plate, wouldn't that be the coolest thing to have an NC CERT license plate? I have wanted that for so long, but I can't sponsor it because I work for a state organization, and you have to be a nonprofit in order to, it literally takes an act of Congress. You have to petition a senator or somebody to put it through, and it has to go through the state legislation to have a new license plate. But it is doable, but you have to have 300 people pay for it in advance before it even ever becomes a thing, because they want to be sure that, it's really going to fly. So back burner, that's a question for 2 years from now, maybe, but I just think that would be way cool. I would be the first person to buy one. Oops.
How about a bumper sticker?
Bumper stickers would be great too. That would be awesome. All right, well, that is everything that I had on my official agenda for this evening. So I would like to open it up for, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Anything else that you all would like to talk about? What's on your mind? What are your questions, problems, concerns, anything going on with CERT in your neck of the woods?
You don't see my hand up, do you?
No, I'm sorry. Randy.
Andy, well, that's because I'm way up in the corner on mine. I was actually, Tony and our group were over with the Red Cross organization in their smoke detectors. What is it called? The
alarm. Yeah.
We were over there, and several of us got all teamed up together. We went around and the bunch of us put up a whole bunch of alarms. I wanted to let everybody know I got, like I said, I work with both Red Cross and CERT. And and I don't know if anybody else did on the CERT team, but I got a thank you letter from the Red Cross.
Nice.
Did anybody else get one? I sent a copy to you, Tony.
Yeah, I've got that, but I didn't get one directly from the Red Cross.
Okay. Well, I copied it to you, I think, but yeah, and it says, you were part of 116 Red Cross volunteers working with families in their homes to share how we are getting out safely with working smoke alarms. Together, we installed 165 smoke-free alarms in
Wow.
100 vulnerable households and have helped 386 people create home fire escape plans. Every person in each home we reached cut their risk of dying in a home fire by half. And they put up a whole bunch of, what do you call that? Well, okay, well, sound the alarm Raleigh Rescue recap, so you can jump online and see the different things. And then they've got event photos up on Flickr. So it was just a really nice little letter. It was signed by Barry Porter, who is he's the regional director, and Jamar Bruton, which is technically a member of CERT. So it was kind of convenient there. And he's now over at the Triangle chapter and disaster program manager over there. So, but I mean, it was a fairly lengthy letter. If you want,
That's nice.
I can send it up to you and you can hand it out.
That's great. Yeah. And so that's a super program. We've done that in Apex as well. And if y'all are looking for something to do at your local level, partner up with your local fire department and or Red Cross. And that's a potentially life-saving exercise you just did there, because if you're living in a home with no smoke detector and, gosh, that's just so dangerous. And so you may have saved lives that day. I think that's fantastic.
I can't tell you the number of people who were there, and when I open their door, the first thing you hear is beep, beep, and you know that their smoke alarms are not working.
Oh, yeah.
They've gotten so used to it that they don't notice.
Oh,
So yeah, most of them didn't speak English, so I
Yep.
typed up a, anyway, long story, but go ahead. Somebody else got their hand up.
yeah, that's great. Zach, what's up?
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Randy was saying, there was talk about making the Sound the Alarm event a little bit more of a regular thing, because there are so many communities that are lacking in
Yeah.
fire safety and whatnot. While we were there, there was somebody from a community engagement organization. The exact name of it is eluding me at the moment, but he was pretty much there to be our translator, because the community that we were in was largely Spanish speaking. And he and I got to talking, and he didn't really know a whole lot about CERT.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of gave him the rundown on that.
Great.
And he was very interested in it, because community engagement is also his bag. So
Love it.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
kind of
so
fun
that's
getting-
the other benefit of it. Not only that you're out there helping people and installing the smoke detectors, but it's a great PR event for your CERT program. So by all means, wear your CERT shirt while you're out there. And I hope everybody has practiced that. Your elevator speech when somebody goes, CERT, what's that? That you have just 2 or 3 sentences real quick that you can tell somebody what it is and how they can get more information. Thanks for that, Zach. I see a question from the chat. Fred is asking if I expect there will be communal shelters this year. Yes. So as you all know, during COVID, if we had to evacuate people from a hurricane, usually is what we're evacuating people from, before COVID, we always did congregate sheltering. Most of them are like a high school gymnasium or some very large space where you can put up 200 cots or something. And then during COVID, we did what's called non-congregate sheltering. And our business EOC worked with I don't even know how many hundreds of hotels all the way across North Carolina, so that we have sort of dibs on a certain number of rooms at a certain number of hotels, and also they will honor the state rate, and the state will pay for that. And so if we had to evacuate people, we could put families. Now there might be, if you have a large family, we might put 6 people in one room, but at least you've got a shelter and someplace safe, and you won't be with anybody who's not in your immediate family. So that was the COVID answer to sheltering, is the non-congregate shelter. I think that it will be a bit of a hybrid moving forward, that we will have some congregate sheltering and some non-congregate. I think in the past, we've had 300, 200, 300 people in a gymnasium. I bet that number will be cut like in half so that you can spread the cots out farther. So people aren't, right up against each other, that physical distancing thing. So yes, to answer your question, Fred, I do think we will see some congregate sheltering. I did send out an email, I don't know, 2 months maybe ago, 6 or 8 weeks ago, asking if you all are interested in helping out. We have some different ways that we can use volunteers. So maybe at a reception center, which would be if we had a nuclear event and we had people we needed to move away from that area. So that's just working to check people in basically, or working in a congregate shelter, or working with our FAST team, which is it's the functional access support team. I always remember my acronyms until I have to actually say what it is. And that is a group of people who are trained to go to a potential shelter and make sure that it truly is accessible for individuals with access and functional needs. Just saying things like, well, do you have wide enough doorways? Every door has to be 36 inches wide, and you have to have at least one stall in a restroom that is handicap accessible. So the FAST team is trained for that. And I hope that you all got that survey and have answered it. We do have some FAST training coming up. I believe it's June 23rd, and that is listed in terms. So if you are interested in getting more involved with that, that is in there. Randy, you have your hand up again?
Yeah, I do. I'm certified in FAST.
Oh, great.
And it's things that you don't even think about. Like somebody who has autism are very sensitive to sound. When they walk in the door, you wouldn't necessarily know that there's an issue. So knowing how to adjust everything to fit the people that are there is super important. And it was a fascinating class.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I would love to do it myself. I just
Well, you
time.
too many hats already, girl.
Yes. And if we're activated for a hurricane, I'm chained to a desk in Raleigh, so I can't really go anywhere. But thank you for doing that, Randy. I think that's awesome. Let's see. Do we have another question? Oh yeah. So Tina, you're in the same boat as me. Like because you work for GE Hitachi, you have to support them, and you're kind of down east there too. So yeah, and you may be able to support in other locations. That's great. So, and it may be if one part of the state is affected, but where you live isn't, maybe you could be available to go and work for 3 days or something in a shelter, or reception center, or anything. We could come up with other things too, but I'm pleased that CERT is actually now being written right into emergency operations plans, and I feel like we're finally getting some validity and credibility and support from the locals. That they're recognizing that CERT volunteers are a force multiplier. And I always, when I'm talking about you all, wherever I go, I tell people how professional CERT volunteers are and how just willing to work volunteers are. And I just can't say enough good things about the people that I've met working through CERT. I'm honored to be amongst y'all because you're pretty cool folks.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd like to mention that, as you're aware, that whenever we have counties near us, that we go over and assist whenever we can. But I would also like to mention that this weekend we had the North Carolina Bear Festival.
Oh,
and
cool.
we had about 30,000 people in the little town of Plymouth. And
wow.
I'm proud to say that CERT members assisted with that. As a matter of fact, Connie was actually driving the golf cart for the handicapped. She was taking them back and forth where she
I
needed
love
to.
it.
And I was actually working in the hospitality booth and also working at the Maritime Museum. So we're out there. I mean, it's not as strong as it was because of COVID, but we're out there trying to get things done and making
Awesome.
people aware that this is what CERT is all about.
Yeah, I love it. And that Washington County CERT has always been so strong, and y'all have just put in, I'm sure you know how many hours, but countless numbers of hours over the years, and I've always been so impressed with what y'all do.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Tina, yes, there is a CERT program in Matthews. I have had the hardest time getting anything started directly in Charlotte or anywhere else in Mecklenburg County for that matter. We did a class in Huntersville. Gosh, it must have been like in 2017 or 18. And everybody was so enthusiastic, and I thought it was going to be really great. And then I just never heard from anybody again. It's like it just fizzled. So yeah, if you are out there at all, and I recognize how busy you are like the rest of us, or you know other people in Mecklenburg who would be interested in getting involved, Charlotte really needs their own CERT program, and I don't live in Charlotte, and I can't, yeah, we need somebody really committed and, who has the time and ability to get a CERT program started somewhere in Mecklenburg. But yes, Matthews does have a small team. Yep. What else is on your CERT minds out there? Anything?
Samantha, this is Tony. One thing that you may want to give consideration to, and I know you've answered a lot of my questions already, but people who are starting a new CERT program who aren't familiar with CERT, a lot of times a fire department or whatever, EMS, may say, a CERT program would be nice for us, but they haven't a clue as to how to organize it.
Yep.
If we could come up with a step-by-step, I mean very intricate step-by-step program or document policy as to how to move a CERT program forward, where it eliminates basically all questions. That way you won't be inundated.
You're never going to eliminate all questions, I can tell you that. We can try, but we'll eliminate as many questions as we can. That's an excellent point, Tony, and thank you for bringing that up. And that is one of the parts of the SOG that I would like to expand when the new one comes out in July. I do have about a paragraph in there about how to start a new CERT program, but I do think I need to expand on that some, and I'm definitely going to be updating that section of the SOG. And Tony just reminded me, and I've just put another link in the chat for y'all. July 16th and 17th, I will be teaching the CERT Program Manager class in Raleigh at the State EOC. It's a really, really fun class, and you get to meet a lot of other CERT people. And if you are a new program manager, you've just been handed the reins to an existing program, or you want to start a new program, or you are just interested in how these things work, we go into the weeds talking about the nuts and bolts of running a local CERT program. So the link I just put there is if you want to register for the class, that will take you to the terms page where you can register for that. If you do travel more than 50 miles and spend the night, we will reimburse your hotel and your meals for this class too. So I would love to see you all there. Rusty, that's a great idea. He wants to see a joint training calendar so teams can get together and cross-train together, especially with other nearby teams. I like that idea a lot. I do have a North Carolina CERT webpage off of that readync.gov page, and I would be happy if people want to send me your events. We could put it there so you can see what's going on across the state. I do list all of the basic training classes, train the trainer, program manager that I know about. I put them all there so that people can find those at least. But yeah, any other training that you want other people to know about, send it to me and we'll share it far and wide. It's a great idea.
That's one thing I forgot to bring up. That is a very good idea, is to do cross-training and co-training.
Yep. Yeah.
With us training by ourselves, we're missing out on a great
definitely
wealth of knowledge that other people have. And
Yep.
also, you can get your classes big enough where you will hold more classes.
Yes.
If attendees have to be a certain number. If we
Yeah.
can combine CERT teams and do combined training. Because sooner or later, we're going to have to work with each other anyway. So we might as well
Right.
get used to each team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I just put the link for the CERT page there so you can see that in it where it shows the upcoming events and so forth. I also I think there was one meeting that I did like this where I forgot to record it, and so that wasn't there, but I try to put all the recordings of our meetings for these forums here. I used to do separate ones for all volunteers and then for program managers, but then I just decided I'm just going to make all the meetings for everybody because, I mean, it's not like we talk about anything top secret at the program manager meetings. So, yeah, I'm not going to differentiate those anymore. They're just all going to be for everybody. And so, yeah, if y'all will send me any of your trainings that you want to share, I will add them to that. And especially if there's a link, if people need to sign up or they need to email somebody if they want to come, yeah, then let me know that so I can put it there as well. Michelle is asking if there's a Spanish CERT class to offer first aid and disaster related vocabulary. Oh, a Spanish for CERT class. Okay, I was reading this like taking CERT in Spanish because we do have the materials for that, and I'm dying to get somebody to offer a CERT basic training class in Spanish. But you're looking for a Spanish for CERT volunteers.
Or Spanish for medical responders.
Yeah, Jake, my husband, is behind me, and he said there are classes that's Spanish for first responders. So maybe we can look into that. Yeah, community colleges and so forth, maybe. Spanish for CERT. I'm making a note here. Okay, and Rusty says, CERT members qualify for emergency management classes at community colleges. He got his EMT fee waived because of CERT. Right, so if you are part of a CERT organization, you are part of the public safety community, and there are lots of classes that you can take at community colleges that will be fee waived. And Zach did his 300 and 400. Oh, you got that sorted out, Zach? Because I thought they were trying to charge you. Okay, good.
Yeah, it was just a little miscommunication, but all is well.
Hey, Zach, how you doing? It's Jay.
Jay says hi.
What's up, Jay?
Hey.
The other thing I want to point out, as you know, as CERT volunteers, we are volunteers, and I have never personally paid anybody to teach a CERT class because I have awesome people who are willing to do it for me picking up their hotel room or whatever. But if you are able to run your CERT basic training class through your local community college, they will pay your instructors so they can make some pretty nice money. It was like, how much, Jay?
Well, it depends on the
Well, it depends on the community college. In Wake County, you get $25 an hour. And it's a 21-hour class. Now, you're probably not going to have one instructor teaching all 20 hours, but even if you taught 10 hours at $25 an hour, that'd be, a nice little summer money for you to have. So local program managers, talk to your local community college. We've got them in every county. So, they're looking for the FTE. It's good for them to have students coming through. I don't know what FTE stands for, but it's something educational.
Oh, right.
Oh, it has to do with federal funding. And so they want to have students coming through their colleges and putting on CERT classes. All it costs them is the price of the instructor. And sometimes they will also let you hold the class at the college. The one thing I'm not crazy about is that sometimes they will charge a small fee if somebody from another county wants to come to that class. They'll charge them for that. So I like to run it through someplace else, like a fire station if they have a training room, but run it through the college so that the instructors can be paid. Randy go ahead, Randy. You had your hand up first.
Yeah, I had my hand up first. Anyway.
Go ahead. We'll go to Zach after you. Randy's next.
I wanted to ask you, you're talking about interpreters and everything like that, and the college level thing. Is there a way that we could consider making the interpreting portion of, I don't see if I can say this right, can they do an internship going through CERT. By doing that, all we would have to do would be to request and maybe do some paperwork from anybody taking Spanish as a major, because they will have to do an internship.
I don't know about that because I don't. I've had experience with American Sign Language interpreters. I have not had direct experience with foreign language interpreters, but I know, like at this, I've been told for ASL interpreters, they must already be certified. So we can't use, like, we wouldn't be able to use a student who is studying to be an ASL interpreter. They have to already have that certification. So I don't know if that would be true of a foreign language interpreter as well.
Right? That makes sense.
Yeah. Zach.
For the classes with teaching the CERT thing, do we just have to attend one of the train the trainer courses, or how do we
Yes.
get qualified to do that?
Yep. So you have to take train the trainer, and so that is that one and program manager are I'm the only one who teaches those just because I want to have the consistency across the state. Once I get people trained, y'all can go teach all the basic training classes that you want. We do want to run them through terms so we have accountability and we know how many people we're training and so forth. But yes, so presumably, and I know Zach, you have had CERT basic training, so you have to have that first, and then you take the train the trainer class, and then you are blessed and ready to go.
Fantastic. Nice.
Yeah, and you would be a great trainer. I'd love to have you as a trainer.
Oh, appreciate it.
Marcella had her hand up, but now it's gone. Do you still have a question or a comment, Marcella?
No, just I want to offer myself. I speak Spanish because I'm from Colombia. I'm just improving my English. So if somebody, or if I can help with something, and I am a doctor, so I can.
Wow. That's fantastic. Thank you for offering that. How about, I'll talk to you about this offline, Marcella, but I'm thinking for our next CERT forum, what if you and I get together and, put together just what Michelle was asking about, a Spanish for CERT class where you can teach us all some words and things we can say to help people in case of a disaster.
Yeah, of course.
That would be awesome. Thank you. Where do you live,
Just
Marcella?
don't try to
I'm in Raleigh
just
right
don't try
now.
to recruit her.
Raleigh.
Don't
you
try
say
to
Tony?
recruit her. She's a member of Raleigh CERT.
No, I'm not trying to recruit her.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're all one team, one mission, right? We all work together.
Just letting you know.
Samantha, I would like to mention that over here in Washington County, what we actually have, what I partner with one of the churches, and the young lady now has moved into Pitt County. But because I had partnered with her, we have another young lady from her church that has agreed to be a part of our CERT to actually be the interpreter in the event that we needed one.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you for letting us know that. That's wonderful.
You're certainly welcome.
This is why I love these forums so much, to hear what you all are doing, and somebody like Marcella steps up and offers her assistance, and this is great. This is what CERT is all about.
I'm just new here, and I'm getting involved in the CERT.
Great.
I'm new, but
Yes.
I'm trying to help if I can help.
Great. Well, maybe we can get you to train the trainer, and then you can help make my dream come true of teaching CERT basic training in Spanish.
Of course, and I was talking with Anthony about some, as a doctor, I can teach you some basics about first aid or something.
Wonderful.
As well.
I love it. That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And Rusty, I see your private message, and I will respond to that. I'll email you. All right. Anything else? So I wasn't looking to see if anybody had a hand up. Oh, thanks, Zach. Zach shared his email there. So if anybody needs anything from him, there's his email. Oh, Andrew just joined us. Well, he wants to know what he missed. We have appointed you the leader of the new ad hoc committee for starting the North Carolina CERT Association. So welcome.
Won't be late anymore.
That's right. You'll be on time next time.
Yep.
No, but I did talk about Andrew, didn't I, guys? I did. I spoke about him earlier, and that you have already done some work on bylaws and so forth. And we are looking. We've got four other folks here who are interested in looking at the formation of a state association. So what I would like to do is, for those of you who said you are interested, how about in the next couple of weeks, next 2 weeks or so, we do a meeting, with those folks, and we can talk about how to get started and where to go.
That sounds
That
great.
sounds good.
Right.
Excellent. Yay. All right, so I will look at the calendar. I have a busy couple of weeks, but I did actually just had one class cancel, so maybe that'll give me some time. All right.
Wait, congratulations on your appointment and promotion. Whoever it was that just got nominated to the committee.
Oh, Andrew. Yes.
Long suffering.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam, I got a question for you real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
A couple of the EMs, I've been doing a lot of stuff here in the Western branch. The SAR for CERT class, that's taught by you and your husband, right?
Yes.
How is that arranged through terms? Do they just have to request that through your office, or how does that
Yeah,
work?
you can just request it direct from me. You don't have to go through the training branch or anything. You can just email me. I will say, because you're into SAR, this is a very basic beginner SAR class. No, it's Andrew Ferguson out in Alexander County.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah.
Well, I don't think he's going to come all the way from Alexander by Saturday for this class.
I thought about it. Unfortunately, I'm tied up. We're doing shelter surveys right now. We're deeply involved in that. So,
cool.
But I'm getting ready to head out of the country for a little while and actually go down to Honduras and talk to them about starting something like a CERT program down there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
The national, yeah, Jay says he wants to go. The National CERT Association does have an international committee as well, so there could be some support available there if you need anything.
And that's in Galveston.
That's the conference, but I'm just talking about the organization as a whole. We have an international training committee, and so they might be able to help you if you need anything.
That would be great.
Yeah. Looking at my notes, I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. So, y'all have any other thoughts? Yes, go ahead. Who's that? That is Rock. Hi, Rock.
Hi, Samantha. I just wanted to share here from Moore County that we recently partnered up with the Civil Air Patrol, and we did a point of distribution training with them. That was
Great.
Is very useful to us.
Great. That's awesome. That's another class that I can teach. We did one in Raleigh not too long ago. It was April, I think, wasn't it? And I also have one coming up in July in Fayetteville, the pod class. So yeah, that's awesome that you were able to do that, Rock. I love it. Are things going well down there with Whispering Pines?
Yes, absolutely. We're very involved with the fire department.
Good.
And things are rolling pretty good over here.
I love to hear that. That's fantastic. Glad to hear that. Book of recommendation, The Devil Never Sleeps, Learning to Live in an Age of Disasters. I haven't heard about that one. We'll have to check that one out. That's a recommendation from Michelle. The Devil Never Sleeps, Learning to Live in an Age of Disasters. Thanks, Michelle. Maybe we need a reading list on the website too. Like read 1 second after and all these other good books. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I've kept you for an hour, and I appreciate everybody staying on for so long and for being interactive. I always love to hear from you guys and hear what's going on. You all know how to get in touch with me. I know you do, but just in case, I'll give you my easy email so you don't have to put my whole name. I made have them make this alias for me. Just cert@ncdps.gov. If you have any questions, comments, whatever I can do to help you out, a training that you want, whatever it is, and let me know about the cool stuff you're doing and send me pictures. I love to see pictures and videos, and with your permission, I like to put them on the NC CERT Facebook page, and I often also share them at the national level with the CERT Association and also with FEMA. So we have had an article from the ICPD, the Individual and Community Preparedness Division newsletter. I want to see North Carolina CERT programs mentioned in there as often as possible. So send me your pictures, your stories. Andy, I think we got you guys in there with your helicopter. The Chatham CERT did a cool exercise helping the highway patrol with helicopters out at Jordan Lake, and some really cool pictures came out of that. So keep them coming. I love it. All right, guys, if you don't have anything else, I will sign off. And I know I'm going to see some of you on Saturday at the SAR for CERT class, so I look forward to that. And as always, let me know what you're up to, and I look forward to hearing from all of you. Be safe, everybody. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep, take care. It's my dog. Oh, Melody is here. Melody, are you still on?
Yes.
Hey, are you still interested in talking about the state association?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because we had a few people talk about making an ad hoc committee to discuss that, and I didn't want to put your name on the list without asking you first. And also, you're in the East, and I didn't have anybody else from the Eastern branch who piped up. So here's my husband.
Yep. Also, while you got the East people on there, reference the help with the Brunswick exercise.
Oh yeah, I haven't even sent that out yet. I mentioned it to them tonight, but yes. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we were late. We had the meeting tonight for the class on Monday, the meet and greet the instructors. And so we got stuck there, and it was like, oh, y'all gonna be late.
I'm glad you made it. I won't count you tardy or anything. You'll be okay.
Okay, thank you.
What's up, Zach?
Hey, if there's anything I can do to help out with that thing in Goldsboro on the 24th, just let me know.
I would love it. Thank you. I had one other person message me too, so I'll email you guys tomorrow. It's like an all-day affair. It's like from is it 9? It's either 9 or 10. I want to say it starts at 10 and goes until 4, and they're just going to have a bunch of tents set up, and we would be there to tell people what CERT is and just talk to them about it, and just try to get people interested.
Sounds awesome.
Yay.
I will talk to you then.
Great. I'll send you the information.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Zach. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, Tom. I'm sorry. I think you just joined, but we were actually just ending.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I completely forgot I had the calendar invite. Did I miss anything good?
Well, actually, I did record it, so I'll put it up on the YouTube channel, and so you can watch it at your leisure. The biggest discussion probably is just talking about whether or not and how to start a state CERT association.
Okay, great. I look forward to hearing about that.
Okay, super. I should have it up on YouTube by tomorrow, and I'll email everybody the link.
Great. Thanks a lot, Sam. Hope you
Thanks,
enjoy.
Tom.
Well.
All right, you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I'm going to stop the recording. There we go.